chances that I missed. Some I held, some slipped away. One street over where my memories exist. I wonder what would change. I really couldn't say. In this life there's nothing certain, except the curtain that rises to the stage. Silly games of second guessing. I just forget the lessons that I couldn't learn. Because one street over there's a life I could have known that would have kept me from the one I had today.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. How are you doing, Robertson County? This is 1100 WSGI and a little thing we call One Street Over. Interrupting my Ridgetop Ramblers to go ahead and get the show started. But I got to tell you, this is the second time this week we've had a cancellation. And so when that happens, you know, sometimes you just get me, but I got my sweet friend Lee Marie. She's in here hanging out with me. So I even threw a note out to Bill Jones and said, hey, if you want to come in and hang out this morning. My husband loves it when Bill comes on because he's the history he does.
Yeah.
And he's so much fun to listen to because he's telling old stories about, you know, I just love hearing about the county because I didn't grow up here, so I didn't get to hear all those stories, but it reminds me so much of where I'm from back home, and so I love to get that backstory. And so
Right.
Bill does it. So I half expect Bill to come walking in here because I
he's
sent
great.
him a note.
And as soon as he does,
So-
I'm out of here.
Well, and if he does, but no, we do have Brian and Ace coming in at 7:30 from United Way. But I want to say I had this business, and I told Lee Marie, I said, why don't you sit down with me and see if you can, you know, find anything or if you have some favorite businesses you want to talk about, because typically on Thursday mornings, that is when we like to have our feature business of the week. Well, you know, there's so many businesses I haven't visited with yet that I've tried to reach out to and tried to get them on, and just I had one. I'm not going to say who it is, and it's a restaurant and it's one of my favorites. And I invited them to come on. He goes, "Oh, we don't need no more business because we're a little overwhelmed right now," and that is great. But I get so tickled when I think about that, and it's also just a little bit too early for them. Some people, when you tell them that you want them to do something at 7 a.m., they just look at you with glazed eyes and they think, "No way." So I get that from time to time, but I still have some businesses that I like to share with you. And I had one, and I love my Aunt Shirley is on here from Michigan, my mother-in-law's sister. Isn't that fun? Isn't technology fun that I've got my Aunt Shirley listening to the show this morning up in Michigan? Hi, Aunt Shirley. But anyway, so was driving home, and on my road, I live down New Chapel, Lawrence Lane area, and I see this sign that says "Cream of the Crop," and I'm like, have you seen that sign? Mm-mm. It says "Cream of the Crop," and I'm like, what is cream of the crop? I don't have any idea. And so, and as I got to looking and I started driving down to my house, I'm like, okay, this is like right on my road. And it is a business that is a liquidation. It's an overstock business. And a lot of stuff comes from Wayfair. And they have chairs, accent pieces, couch, beds, items, 30 to 50% off retail. And what's interesting about it, they're only open very specific times and for a very limited time. So it's almost like if you don't hear about it, you don't get in on the deal. And you know, it's just kind of a cool concept. And they run it on the property on Lawrence Lane. They have it in their, you know, in like in a garage in their house. And I've seen some pictures online, but if you look up Cream of the Crop, here in Robertson County, but the address is 2004 Lawrence Lane. And let's see here. She says, you can text the word BP Boutique, BPBOWTIQUE and then the phone number. I don't understand texting. You can sign up for text alerts is what she's saying. So basically, they get closeout stuff, and they get it at a great discount. And if you want to get text alerts, so because I'm gonna have her on, but I'm just trying to figure out exactly, you know, what I need to tell you guys about it, because I told her she was sick during the night, and was not able to be here. And so I said, well, you know what? Just send me some info about what you guys are doing, and I will fill you in on. I'll kind of fill them in. But again, this is called Cream of the Crop, and they're my neighbors up there on Lawrence Lane. It was so funny. I pulled up the other day, and one of the guys was going in, and I haven't met him. I don't think they've been there a terribly long time, but it was her father, I think, is who I met. And he invited me to a party. You know, I was like, I love this neighborhood, but isn't that fun? And it was just a lot of fun. But again, this is called Cream of the Crop, and it's over on Lawrence Lane, 2004, and they will be open this Friday from 10 to 6, and they'll be open Saturday from 10 to 5. Now, if you want to sign up for text alerts, let me see if I can get this right now, and that will give you the dates of the sales and all the things that are going on, like alerts. But it says you can text the word, and it's BP Boutique, but they've got Bow, B-O-W, so BP BOWTIQUE to the phone number 33222. My best advice is go out there tomorrow or Saturday and check it out and see what they've got, and then I bet there you can sign up for their for all of their text and stuff. But it's called Cream of the Crop, and if you've seen the signs over in our neighborhood, and you know, Lee Marie kind of lives over in that same neighborhood too, so I'm kind of surprised you haven't seen the signs. But I guess I've just been seeing them down Lawrence Lane. But they do have a Facebook page too. I think you can just go. Let me see here. I think you can just go to Cream of the Crop, and it says Cream of the Crop Overstock. Cream of the Crop Overstock is where you'll find it, and that will give you all of the information about what they've got going on. And I mean, they've got, look at, I'm showing Lee Marie, look at these pictures.
Wow.
I mean, it's neat.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff in there. I mean, it's a boutique. And just a lot of fun stuff. But if you're one of those folks that just loves to shop, especially for your house, you like to go to Home Goods, you know, that kind of place, and you always like, oh, I'm gonna completely redecorate my house around that chair, you know, and so that's the kind of thing that I think you're going to find at this. But man, just some great cabinets and stuff. I'm looking at it. I love this little. There's a little like a dresser that has little cubby drawers in it, and man, it's just beautiful. And it's the color, it's that turquoise kind of color that's so popular right now. I'm just telling you guys, this seems like a real treasure, a real great place for you to really get some great discounts. And it's called Cream of the Crop. They were supposed to be our guests this week or today for our business of the week. And they're sick. And you know what? If you're sick, I don't want you to come in here. So, because I don't need it, you know. But so absolutely, we want to remind you to go and see them. Again, the hours tomorrow. Let me see if I can pull that message back up. Did you write them down?
No.
But let me see here. Let me pull it back up. She mentioned the hours are, again, this weekend. You can go Friday from 10 to 6, Saturday from 10 to 5. And the address is over here on Lawrence Lane, and there's signs out. If you go down to New Chapel, if you're on Highway 49, you go to New Chapel, make a right. Lawrence Lane is the second street on the right, and you go down and you'll see them almost to the end of Lawrence Lane on the left. But they'll have signs out. But the address is 2004 Lawrence Lane, 2004 Lawrence Lane here in Springfield. And again, these are the kinds of things I love to talk about. I want to tell people about your businesses and what you got going on, so that way we can advise them about how they can come out and get to know you. And don't be afraid. It's okay to come on here. This is not hard. I don't make this hard to you. It's just we're sitting and just on the porch and talking.
That's right.
And so I challenged Lee Marie when she sat down. I said, since we've got some time here, I said, what are some of your favorite businesses? And you went looking. So talk to me.
I did, but before I do that, I want to say something, because you said how much you like to listen to Bill Jones because you hear about the history.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I felt when your show started, because I was new to Robertson County.
Oh, thank
and it was
you.
like so awesome to be able to hear every day something else about Robertson County.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate
Thank
that. And I
you.
thank you for that, because now I feel like I know so much about Robertson County, even though I've only been here like 2.5 years.
Isn't that something? And here, I thank you so much for that. And it's one of those things that I've been here since 1992, and I knew nothing about Robertson County. And that's why I have had so much fun doing this. I honestly, when I get a free hour or a free half hour, somebody calls me and cancels, I'm real tempted just to kind of get philosophical on you and all this kind, because I can do that. But that's not what the show is about. And sometimes we'll go there, but for the most part, this is a show about our county and what's going on in our community, and we want to really protect that. Okay. And that's what we love to talk about. Now, we have real intentional spirits stuff and those types of things, but we just really want to help people know more about Robeson County, and I need to hear from people in the outlying areas from where I am. Because I mean, if you're in White House, and you're in Robeson County, you think about Springfield as the outlying area. I feel like I miss a lot from White House and those areas up in Cross Plains even. I hear from Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team because they're sponsors of the show. But there's so many things out in Cross Plains and areas like that we don't really get to talk to them because they're not in my line of sight. And
that is an excellent segue about what I want to go into next.
Go for it.
Because
yes.
Stephen and I do a lot of volunteering, and we do a lot of helping, to promote events that are happening. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times I will tell people, I'll say, is there an event link on Facebook? And they'll say, oh, well, we have it on our page, or we have this. And really, event links are great, because right now, when we were looking for stuff, I just went on Facebook, I went to Robeson County Happenings. Mm-hmm. And the first thing that popped up was the first Cedar Hill Farmers Market of 2021, which is today from 4 to 8. Now, if that wasn't an event invite, it would not have showed up right there. So really, guys, take advantage of that, because a lot of us get our information there. And like Laverne said, you know what? Steve and I go to a lot of things, and most of the time it's because I'm just going through Facebook looking at, what events are happening. So this looks pretty good. This is today. It's a free event. It says nearly 24 local vendors selling produce, clothing, plants, leather products, jewelry, baked goods, knifeware, candles, decor, flowers, and more. And it also says we're excited to bring our local FFA chapter from Joe Burns High School in to support their program and to help shape their future. So it's another good cause. Some of the local vendors, Bell Hollow Farms, Head Farms, Corbin Creek Greenhouse, Gingham Roots, For the Love of Fabric, Sweet Loaves and Ivy, Hudson Barn, Roan Clay Designs, Wholesome Homemade Home, Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy. I think you know that, right?
Uh-huh.
Perfectly Imperfect Gifts by Michelle, Tennessee Keepsakes, Gracefully Plain Jane, Rampant Lion Leathersmith, The Tree Maker, Rustique Essentials, Cedar Hill FCE, and Sugar Roots Bakery.
Oh, yeah. Love Sugar Roots.
So if any of those, and then delicious food can also be purchased from the Santa Fe food truck that will be there. They'll have picnic tables nearby the food truck so that you can just sit right there. Big Mike's Little Donuts will be there, and lots of homemade ice cream, Head's Farm, lemon, some lemon from Easy Peasy Lemon Squeezy. Let's see, music provided by the guys from the Inglewood Old Time String Band. Well, now that's got my interest.
She's really got her attention now.
Yeah,
that's funny. But and I knew that they had a market out there, but we've talked. And it's a Robeson County thing. I really need to have somebody from that farmer's market in to talk to them, and I can talk to Amy. Amy seems to be she's kind of like you. She's plugged into everything, Amy Corbin, and so she apparently is going to have a booth out there. So she'll probably know who the contacts folks are.
Yeah, it looks like John Edwards is the one who posted this. It looks like he's the host of it, and so it does say that outside vendors are welcome. Priority is given to local people, but outside people are invited. So go ahead and contact John Edwards, or go ahead and go to that Facebook site here. If you search for First Cedar Hill Farmers Market, it will come up. And again, it's today from 4 to 8.
Okay. And we've got our farmers market starting, I'm wanting to say May. I think we start the 1st of May is the farmers market here in Springfield, and it'll be out at the fairgrounds. We've had several of them in to talk about that, and we'll continue to promote that as we get closer in. But we're talking about, now we've got farm stores that are open. I know Head's Farm Store I think they're already open. I'm wanting to say they opened at the 1st of this month. And we've got the Hancock.
I drove by Head's yesterday.
Head's is open. Yeah. Head's is open. And Hancock Family Farm Store, they're getting ready to reopen as well, and they're located at 7114 Highway 49 East here in Springfield. They're reopening Friday, April 16th. So that would be a week from tomorrow, right? Yeah, that'll be a week from tomorrow that they'll be opening the Hancock Family Farm Store. And here's the thing. They are working to become one of the sponsors here on One Street Over. We don't have room for any more live ads, but they wanted to do a recorded ad. And I have been talking to Jody about this, and she has apparently gotten something recorded with her children doing the ad. And they're going to be buying ads on the show that we're going to be playing for you. And that is something that anybody can do. We would love to have more sponsors on the show. We can't do any more live ads than what we're doing, but we could do little, drop 30-second, minute ads, and you just need to reach out to me, and I can put you in touch with the folks over at Ebenezer Broadcasting. But there's a lot of fun things we can do with this show, and we can still take sponsors, and Hancock's is working to become one of those. So I definitely want to mention them and love on them. We just are just trying to connect and get all the details, the technical details worked out to get a spot for them on the air. But the Hancock Family Farm Market is getting ready to open on April 16th on Friday, next Friday, and they're going to have all kinds of stuff. I love going into the farm stores, the ones where they've opened up stores and they're bringing you things that they've grown on their farm. Bernard's is another one that has a farm store that, of course, their specialty is the meat that they produce. And I've got to get them in as well just to talk to them and just kind of get an update. But we love hearing about all these things. And let me go back over here to my Facebook page if you have anything in the comments that you want to share. And any businesses maybe that you really enjoy that you want us to talk about and to just kind of plug and say, hey, this is something coming up that, we want to make sure that you know about. Are you coming up on anything else?
I do. I found something for White House.
Okay.
Actually, on that same Robertson County Happenings page, the White House Library has just posted their April calendar. And they have quite a few activities, and these are being held outside on the patio. So everything from gardening classes to board games. And some things are for kids, some things are for teens, and some things are all ages. Also, the White House Library is having their Food for Fines, which is going on right now through April 17th. So if you have any overdue things from the White House Library, don't worry, you can bring in some food and get a good deal on that. So check out their calendar, White House Library.
And the White House Chamber, I believe their Roaring Twenties event is tonight. At the Spring Lake Farm, I think at 5:30, and it just sounds like so much fun. I was talking with them about that last week, and or a couple of weeks ago, and we went through and put down. I'm trying to be more intentional about getting the stuff on from White House, and I was really glad to hear that they are really trying to kind of get back into the post-pandemic stuff. But Mandy, she is the president of the White House Chamber, I guess, or the chairman, but the president. But Mandy Christensen, she is the person that we have in from White House, and she was in, I'm thinking about a couple of weeks ago, but they were talking about this Roaring Twenties event, and I don't know if there's still tickets available, but it's a fundraiser, and it sounds like just a tremendous amount of fun. But they kept the same theme they had last year. They had to get canceled because basically, even though it's 21 instead of 20, it's still the 20s. So the 20s weren't just in the year 1920, So even though a lot of people had a lot of things planned last year, called it Roaring Twenties, which would have been a lot of fun because we just like the costumes. And I mean, it's a lot. And do you have a Roaring Twenties costume?
Do I have one? I have about 25 or 30.
Oh, that's hysterical.
We used to do a lot of 20s shows.
Yeah.
So we
That's
brought all our
hysterical.
costumes with us. We have all the USO, 1930s, 1940s, 1950s sock hop stuff. I brought all the costumes with me. So
That's
we'll just see
hysterical.
when the
From
Lord-
California. Yeah.
That's right.
When she moved here, she brought all of her costumes. I figured you'd have some Roaring 20 stuff. So, but yeah, you'll have, this would have been a lot of fun to participate in. There's no way I can go tonight, but you reach out to Mandy. You might be able to still go, but it's the Roaring 20s event in White House. And I'm sure we'll see a lot of fun pictures online from that as well. And they also out in White House, I know, not next week, but the next week, they have got, let me look here. I've got it written down here. Oh, no, it's on Wednesday the 28th. Wednesday the 28th, White House Chamber. They're going to have their power hour at the El Rancho. So, again, that's at El Rancho at 11:30. So they're trying to get back. They're trying to get post-pandemic and start having activities and doing some things. And so you can contact the White House Chamber. Look at as much as we get frustrated with Facebook, it's really good at keeping us up to date on the things that are community driven, keeping us up with our families. You just have to just use it for what it's good for, and go from there.
And then don't forget, every Saturday in April, the turkey shoot.
Oh yeah, can't
All right,
forget that.
they had a great turnout last Saturday. I heard it was a blast. I saw lots of pictures. So
Yep.
make sure you come out. So it's every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 12 noon at 2730 Highway 41 in Greenbrier. That is the American Legion post. And so come on out. It's all ages, and the proceeds go to assist local veterans. We do still need volunteers. So please, if you can volunteer, show up at 7 a.m. Otherwise, just come at 8 and expect to have a real good time there at the American Legion. And then, of course, Monday, next Monday.
Yep.
All right.
Go for it.
All right. At the same location, this is the Tennessee Firearms Association Robertson County chapter meeting. And so that will be this coming Monday, 6 p.m., free admission, also at the American Legion. We're going to have a potluck, but you don't have to bring food. I mean, we have a lot of people who have already signed up for ham and potato salad and deviled eggs and beans and corn and everything. So you can bring something if you want, but you don't have to. But, well, actually you do. You need to bring a friend. This is a great time. Our membership is just going sky high. So
That
this
is
a
awesome.
great time.
That is great. And tell them who your speaker is.
Our speaker is our sheriff.
I love it.
Mike
He's
Van
fun.
Dyke. Yes.
Yep.
So you want to come out and meet your sheriff if you don't already know him, and ask him lots of questions, and it's just going to be a great time. We really have a good group now.
That is very cool. Now tell me this: did y'all give him a topic that you want him to cover?
Not necessarily.
Or are you just going to kind of be
This
a
is the
Q&A?
first time that we've had him in a while, so yeah.
Because that's one thing. When I have them on, a lot of times I'll hear from Jessica, and she will, okay, what do you want to talk about? And it's like, oh, I don't care. And so I'll reach out to folks, and I'll say, hey, do you have any questions for the sheriff? And it's kind of funny that people don't tend to have that many, and I think that just speaks to the job that they do, that they really, it's something that's kind of, you don't have to think about. It's because it's done so well, and we have that with our law enforcement and police, chief's office too. And so I just, we are blessed with our law enforcement here,
Right, and
in
we
a very
had
big way.
Jason White from the district attorney's office. He came out last meeting.
Okay.
And we didn't give him a topic either, and he did a great job.
Okay.
And answered a ton of questions. So.
Well, very good. That's awesome. But and tell them again how they can come to that and be a part of it.
Okay, so it is this Monday, April 12th, at the American Legion in Greenbrier. This is the Tennessee Firearms Association Robertson County chapter, which I did hear that we have one of the best chapters in the whole state. So when you do join, and you can go online at TennesseeFirearms.com, that is the state website, and you can join right there as a member, and then they will forward your information to us, because they'll look and see where the closest chapter is to you, and then they will forward that to us. So once you become a member, you're a member of the state organization and also of a county chapter. And so you will get great emails. John Harris is our director. He's an attorney. And he sends out just the most detailed, wonderful updates on legislation that is going to affect you and that's pending right now and everything. So you will get a good email from him. And their website, too, is very good. So you can even just check out the TennesseeFirearms.com website for a lot of links. I mean, there's resources, there's, like I said, bill analyses. There's a lot of good information there. And then you'll start getting an email from them as well as from us.
Okay.
The county.
Very good. Can you speak to where we're at as far as the carry law and all that? I mean, where did all that end up?
I can't, but
I
Stephen
haven't been paying attention
Stephen
to it.
is ready to come on and speak about that. So if you want him to come
okay.
on, he certainly is. He's got it all written out.
Okay.
Matter of fact, he sent me that stuff on an email, and it was so long. I'm like, yeah.
Okay.
You come on and talk about it.
Let me see what I've got open, because I think we need to kind of do an update on that, because that's something that pertains to all of us. And again, as I have said many times, I kind of got burned out on a lot of the political stuff, and so I've stepped away from it, and I've just kind of been immersing. When I had Shannon Baumgartner on here, right after everything came down with the election, and I just felt so much despair, I had her on, and she was just like uplifted and just had this light in her spirit. And I was like, how do you do that? And she said, I give my first fruits to God every morning, and it just struck a chord with me, and that is where I've been, and it's just kind of consume. I don't know. I'm just that's where God's taking me these days, and
right.
so I don't apologize for that, but I'm just telling you.
No, that's awesome. And I think
you
you should do a little teaser about Shannon is going to be coming on the last Friday of April, because she's got this wonderful binder, and so she's going to be a real big inspiration to everybody, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And she has been to me. But I just, God calls us into different seasons. And I've had seasons of my life that I've been very political. And I think you don't completely check out. And I'm struggling with having to kind of check back in and make myself. And because I've got to stay up to date on what's going on. But since I'm no longer the chairman of the local Republican Party, I don't feel as obligated, I'll just tell you. And I kind of taken a breath from it. But I just can't begin to tell you what a difference just being so intentional about giving my first fruits over in the mornings to God instead of turning on the news. And I don't know. I just don't mind telling people, I really don't. I had somebody ask me yesterday about a news story. There was something that had happened they'd seen in the news, and they want us as a church up at Madison to address that. They want us to, and well, it was about the children that are coming in across the border and how we've got these thousands and thousands of children and how it's just ripping everybody's heart out. And I said, here's the thing. And they were expecting me to be completely up to date on it, and I hadn't paid any attention. So I didn't know anything about it. And, well, I knew it was happening, but I just didn't have details, and I hadn't seen the news story she'd specified. But I said, here's the thing. When this happened back when I was working at the Blaze, we went down there. There was a crisis at the border, and they just started flooding across the border just like now, and it was a lot of kids just like now. And we went down there to try. We went because Glenn Beck has a charity that he started called Mercury One, and it is very similar. There's a charity here in town, Churches of Christ Disaster Relief, and they are intentional about being available immediately after a disaster. It doesn't take, paperwork to get these independent nonprofits there with food and there with the needs of people who've just been through a tornado or a flood or something like that. And so as I've learned about Mercury One, it reminds me very much of the Churches of Christ Disaster Relief that's ran out here in Nashville. And they're just quick to respond. So the Mercury One team, they decided to put together a bunch of trucks full of just things that you would need, and we went to the border, and there was a whole team of us went down there. And the experiences that I had, guys, the border crisis is being used, and it was being used then, and it's being used now. And I'm kind of teasing the fact that we're going to be having Aaron Spradlin on, and he's coming on not next Wednesday, I think, but the next. But he's toward the end of the month, and I've got him on, and he's going to be talking about human trafficking. And that's what people are not seeing is that while what's happening at the border is being politicized, it is also an opportunity for just horrifying trafficking of our children, our most precious citizens among us of this world. And we're going to have Aaron on to kind of speak to that too. I tell you what, it's already, we had a free half hour, and the half hour's already gone, and Ace and Brian are going to be popping in here. There they are. All right. And I got to go ahead and do one of my ads because I haven't done any of them. And I'm going to start with my friends over at Riceman Buick GMC, one of the largest, I'll let you go ahead and make the switch, one of the largest Buick GMC inventories in Tennessee. From time to time, they'll send me something off of the pre-owned lot. And, they're a GMC Buick dealership, but they also get pre-owned things from other makes and models. They've got the Chevy Silverado that came in 2019, 1500 Chevy Silverado, USB port, rear view camera, one owner, full factory warranty left, low miles, Bluetooth, All-Star Edition. There was one of them, too, that came in, I want to say, that had the Texas pack. Oh, yeah, Texas Edition. They also got a 2020 Chevy Silverado RST that came in, and this is the Texas Edition. Those things are super, super slick, but they've got great pre-owned vehicles coming in like that. If you want to go check them out and just see what's coming in, you never know what's going to show up on the lot. So if you're a pre-owned person like me, pay attention to what's coming in on the pre-owned lot because they got great stuff coming in all the time. They got certified pre-owned as well. Vehicles that still carry some warranty or they've been through a multi-point inspection to give them the certification to know that they're going to be what you need them to be. When you put them in your yard or when you drive them into your driveway. They have leasing and financing options. You can start your application process online if you like. All you got to do is go to RicemanBuickGMC.com. And of course, they got new stuff. Todd will tell you, though, that a lot of people, the trend's kind of going towards people ordering their new vehicle because they're like, okay, I want this color and I want this interior. And he's like, come in and order it. And that way, when it gets here, it is yours. Rosselman Buick GMC, they're your one-stop shop for everything you need from vehicles, and they're also your service connection as well. Service hours available every single day that they're open. The dealership is open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. until 7:30 p.m. Saturday, they're 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. The service department is open until noon on Saturday, but I was by the service department the other day. Great guys, talking to them about some things going on with my old Yukon, and some lights that are going off, and all that kind of thing. So you got to go in and get that stuff taken care of. But what great folks to work with. Really excited to have them a part of what we call One Street Over, our little opportunity to stay informed about what's happening one street over from where you are. And thank you. And when you get by Rosselman, tell them U-Turn sent you and thank them for sponsoring One Street Over. Miss Ace, how are you doing?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very good. Doing very good. We had a late cancellation, so we've been here just chit-chatting.
Just chit-chatting.
And it's so funny because we ended up having the cancellation, and then we just got to talking, and I forgot to do my ads. So I still have 2 ads to do.
That's
so I
funny.
apologize.
It's okay.
So,
I'll remind you. So.
Yeah, exactly. And so I'm saying that since I got to do 2 more ads to go, you need to get right
Let
to
me
it.
get
What
right
all have
to
you
it.
got to it? Because
Yeah,
I don't
so
want to run out of time.
We've got a couple things that we wanted to share. Of course, we got the hero of the week, but the first thing that I wanted to start with is actually an interesting fact that will, of course, tie into United Way of Greater Nashville. But today, on this day in history in 1990, so April 8th, 1990, Ryan White died. So I hope that name at least sparks some little bit of a memory for you. But Ryan White actually in the late 80s, well, mid to late 80s and early 90s became a national symbol for HIV/AIDS, the HIV/AIDS crisis. So he was a childhood hemophiliac. So that hemophiliac does not have the ability to properly clot their blood. So they would routinely receive blood transfusions to support healthy living. So he had received a blood transfusion back in the day before we've got the science that we do now to ensure that blood transfusions are safe. But he actually contracted the HIV/AIDS diagnosis from a blood transfusion. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is that he became a national symbol because his school would not allow him to attend. At the time, HIV/AIDS was a new crisis in our country. Mm-hmm. And so we weren't sure. Of course, we know now that it's transferred through bodily fluids. But at the time, the school he attended said, we don't want to endanger any of the other kids, so we'll not allow you to attend. The Department of Education actually pushed down a command to them to say, you have to allow this child to attend school. And they appealed the order. And so with that appeal came some national support. President Ronald Reagan came and spoke on this child's behalf and their family. Sir Elton John, Alyssa Milano, Michael Jackson.
Oh, I remember this well.
Yeah, so it was a
Yeah.
big deal. And with that, I think it was just after his death, there were some federal dollars that were pushed down to ensure that individuals that have an HIV/AIDS diagnosis have access to the health care that they need. So as it stands right now, it's for underinsured or uninsured individuals. But how this comes into play with United Way of Greater Nashville is that we actually manage the Ryan White Part B program for 92 of the 95 counties in the state of Tennessee. And that's actually that many counties is a relatively new expansion. We've managed the mid-state for quite some time, but I think it was about a year and a half ago, if I've got my months correct, that we actually expanded to almost every single county. So how that applies to Robertson County is we do in Robertson County have a comprehensive care clinic that is open. It's in the Robertson County Health Department and providing access, healthcare access to individuals who fall into the criteria. Again, HIV/AIDS diagnosis. So I think there was a good opportunity to kind of talk about and share about one of the lesser known grants that we help manage. Now, and I'll back up and say we manage Ryan White Part B and a CDC grant for that. Again, those are to provide the supports for individuals that have HIV/AIDS diagnoses. So it's an excellent resource, again, for those individuals that, we're proud to help lead and manage that work for almost every single, it's 97% of the state. So that's again, one of the lesser known grants that we help to run and manage. We have an excellent team. Our Ryan White team is what we call them. And they are, not just here in Nashville. We actually have one that lives in East Tennessee and helps to lead that region there. So anyways, just wanted to share that little tidbit just because it was timely, and why not?
How many years ago did you say since he passed?
It has been 1990. Yeah, I said April
1990.
8th, 1990. So and I'll dovetail back to this just a minute. He actually contracted in 1984.
Okay.
So in December of 1984, he was given 6 months to live. He
Right.
actually defied all odds
Right.
through, they realized what had happened and what we could do to try to treat and save this person's life. So he lived for 5 years. And during that 5 years, that's where a lot of the advocacy came in
Right.
for his rights as an individual, regardless of his diagnosis. And again, that led to those federal dollars that are still maintained to this day. So
That's awesome.
1990, 31 years ago.
Well, and what a legacy for his life, because it was so tragic. And I remember the story so well because I was in media at the time. I mean,
Yeah.
I was already working in newsroom. And so that was just a real prominent story. He was just in the news constantly.
I'll say though, if you're not from that time, if you weren't born, during
have
that
no
time,
idea.
You don't really know,
Yeah.
and if you don't have that diagnosis, you're not really going to know that that's out there. So that's something
Yeah.
we want to continue to try to educate on. The resources that are out there, those federal dollars that are funneled to communities. That's part of our United Way's mission is to mobilize resources.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of those opportunities that we have to be proud to lead that work and help
Very cool.
wrangle the efforts. That's not really the right word, but that's a big deal. 92
You
of the
bet.
95 counties. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's just one of the facts that was
Very
timely.
cool.
So,
Very cool. I love that. That's interesting. And I just, when you said how long ago it's been since he passed, I'm like, really?
it's crazy to
wow,
think about.
I'm getting
Yeah.
old. That just seems like yesterday. It's one of those, it was such a prominent news story. It just,
It was.
and when you mention the name and people don't know it, you're like, okay, how old are you? That's what you do. Like, okay, you child.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's okay. So,
Oh, and it's Public Health Week or Public Health Month, I think. So,
okay.
I
Yeah.
think I've got it right. But anyway,
And,
so of course that's one of those public health offerings. I know you had Rachel in the studio this week or last.
She
I
was
can't
on.
remember.
She was on Tuesday morning.
But yeah, she again another program that we partner with the health department. They provide so many services. So
Very good.
Full shout out.
Very good. And my buddy at the shot.
You good?
Yeah. It's well, I got
alright?
sick. I got sick
did?
from it. I'm still not 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's what I did. And I told Rachel, and you come up on the microphone,
Oh,
you'll have
sorry,
to.
yeah.
But Brian was the one who clued me in on being able to get the single shot Johnson & Johnson at Southside Drugs. And I've talked to them, if you want that, you just call them and get on a waiting list, basically, when they get more. But I didn't want to take anything but one shot. Well, and I've heard people say, you need to take it easy after you get the shot. I did not.
Right.
I got the shot, and I just didn't think about it, and I went out. I mean, it was my afternoon off, and so I went out into the woods, got on the tractor. I was probably up and down off the tractor 10, 15 times, moving brush and logs and, things that we'd cut up for firewood, and was just doing all this. I mean, pretty aggressive work that I don't normally do now. I mean, I do it, but not daily. And so I would do that for 2 hours solid. And then I go and get behind the wheel of my car, and I drive to Gallatin for my grandson's ball game. By the time I got there, I could hardly move. I hurt from the top of my head.
This is the
to
day
tip.
after?
No, this was the same day.
So that day. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then the next day, I was real sick. And I had even got a fever yesterday.
Okay.
So but I think it's because I got so aggressive with my activity right after I had a friend's getting ready to get the single shot. And he
Sounds
was
like a
asking
really
me,
great immune response. So you're going to be
Yeah, you're
so
good.
protected.
You're
I'm
good.
kind of thinking. I'm kind of
good.
thinking I'm golden. But it was so funny because I told my friend, he was asking me, he was like, okay, so what do you recommend? I was like, don't do anything. And so I said, you
Take
tell
it
your
easy.
wife you have the permit, you have an excuse to just be, chill. And because I said, I think me getting out and being so,
Right.
because my husband had no side effects at all. Did you?
I very little. My wife did. She had very similar to what happened
Okay.
to you. So that night around 7:30, we were doing the national championship game. We'd been outside and all that, and we would sit down on the couch, and it's same thing: chills, fever.
Yeah.
She got into bed, and then she wasn't right really Tuesday either for most of the day. And then today, she even said her arm was still hurting, which is
Yeah.
so she had a stronger response. I had a little bit like mild side effects. I say like fatigue on Tuesday, and it didn't hit me till 24 hours later.
Okay.
I was on a work call. I did the same thing you did though. I just was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm
weather's
gonna go back to
nice,
work.
and I
Yeah.
went and did all my normal
Yeah.
stuff, and I was on a work call. And I think I blame the Zoom. I've had too many Zooms. So I'm gonna say I need a Zoom break, baby. And I just got real lightheaded.
Yeah.
And they lay down. I felt fatigued and kind of weird. Like you taking a bunch of Sudafed, cold medicine or
Yeah.
something. It was a really strange feeling. But
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
I feel fine today. So
Yeah, I'm
it's
pretty good today. Yesterday
Yeah.
was a little rough.
Yeah.
I got real sick again yesterday, but I'm going to take it. I'm going to probably only do about a half day today and take
Yeah.
it easy the
And just
rest of the
get
day.
back right. Yeah.
But anyway, I've got it behind me now.
Yeah.
So
Well, good job at
I'm-
Southside with everything on Monday. They
and I
ran
appreciate
everything.
you queuing me up to
I was
that.
glad to see you
So,
in there. So.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
beat me in there too.
Yeah, I got mine. It was so funny. He told me about it, and I got mine first. It's just like,
I love it.
I beat you.
I was right behind you.
Okay, hero of the week.
Hero of the week. Yeah, I jumped in. Ace, you were already on fire this morning, I want to say.
I was gonna say.
I came in midstream on that, and so.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
So-
Anyway, yes, hero of the week. This was probably, and we talked about this yesterday at the office, I would say this group is probably going to be our most unheralded hero of the week. And they are all the time, but especially on what we've just been dealing with. So our heroes of the week this week are our janitorial service people. They have been so much responsibility during all this to clean, to keep things clean so we can operate in businesses and schools. And Ace is going to speak a little bit about the health centers and everything that we need so that we can function and do our jobs. And they have had immense pressure on them and more work than they've ever had. They were unappreciated before, and now it's just like it's even more so. And I'm going to guess in most cases the pay probably didn't increase a whole lot, and the hours did. So our janitorial service people across the spectrum are heroes of the week. They have been doing the work to keep us all moving so that we can do our business, and we are so grateful for them. And I just want to give them a little light today because they've had a lot of pressure on them the last year, and will continue to have it for a while, I would imagine.
And I love that because
Yeah.
that's the people that you don't see. They come in after you've been there. They come in at night, and you just magically get in, and your trash can's been emptied, and you just everything's been done. And it's like the people that are doing that and spending the extra time going in and doing the extra cleaning behind groups because they're maybe staggering programs to where they're having 3 instead of 1, and they're having to clean up behind every one. Absolutely, what a great
And
one.
new regulations I'm
Yep.
sure they're dealing with
Yep.
from a corporate level or CDC or whatever it is, where they say you got to do it this way now, and then a month later we have to do it this way now. And so just want to give them, and Ace was speaking a little bit about, you call them at the healthcare environmental services.
Yeah, environmental services is it's just kind of along that line. They are they're underappreciated. I think there's more appreciation that's placed on our friends who are in the environmental services spectrum, but there's very high expectations. You expect that, when you're walking into a patient's room as you're going in, that every surface has been sanitized, that it's been cleaned appropriately, and the pay is not there. And the expectations are incredibly high. So that's kind of what we were talking about yesterday, is that we have really seen that our environmental services friends or janitorial services have they need a little bit of a light shined on them, because the expectation is that, one, they know that the product that they're using is going to be sanitizing the surface, and they do go through a lot of checkpoints and education every year to ensure that. But again, I just don't think that the general public understands how important their role is in ensuring that the environment is safe, especially when we think about patient. Like, I'm thinking about long-term care facilities, rehab facilities, in our hospital settings, in our doctor's offices. It's just the expectation is high, and they don't always get recognized for what they've done and what they do regularly.
So give your janitorial folks a little extra love today.
There you go.
Maybe a pat on the back, buy them lunch,
Send
something.
them a thank you note,
Yeah, send
because
them a thank
they
you
may
note.
come in at night.
Right.
Yeah, and when you talk about buying them lunch or something like that, get them a little gift card.
Right. So they can use it when they want to. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because a lot of the times the schedules are,
Right.
so crazy, and sometimes you'll end up not doing something because you can't make the time. It takes nothing to hand them a gift card and say, "Man, let me get you lunch,"
Yeah.
and just so that, and what that would mean to them, because a lot of them again don't make much money, and that would be a chance for them to go out and have a treat. So I just think that is awesome.
Yeah.
I love that you did. I love that. So I would love to know who to talk to. Maybe I've got friends. They actually have a janitorial company, but they're up in Nashville. I'd rather talk to one local. So if y'all know of one, that would be a good one.
Chelsea Green, she, I can connect you. She's got a cleaning service. But then, we've got the at the hospital, of course, I would love to get Alan in here and let him speak a little bit about the expectations there. Cause I think that's too, like, if you could do both of them, I think that would be an opportunity to look at it from the commercial side and look at it from the healthcare setting
Yeah, if
side.
you'll send me their contacts, we'll set it up, because then, you had your hero of the week was Terry Martin a while back.
Yes.
He's coming in on the 21st,
There you go.
Wednesday, right before, I guess, his cousin Ryan Martin. I don't know if they're related or not, but they're both
So-
last night. Oh, I'm just joking. I'm just teasing.
I don't
But
think
We're all
but
cousins
anyway.
somehow, right?
Yeah, I guess. But we got Terry Martin, and he's with Parks and Recreation here in Springfield, and he'll be coming in on the 21st Wednesday at 7:00, and then of course right after that is Ryan, because he'll come in. Ryan Martin will come in from the city as city manager, because that's the day after the mayor and alderman's meeting. So I've got them in here on the same day, but that's Wednesday the 21st. So your heroes of the week end up being our guests. So there you go.
Ask Terry who his best college summer help was in the history of Parks and Rec.
Okay.
And 2-time award winner, too. Ask him the best one he's ever had.
I'm assuming that you did that.
You might have to go back to the 90s, but
Yeah.
but yes, make sure to ask him that. So.
All right, I'm gonna have to make that in my notes, because if I don't, I'll forget. Let me do one of my ads. Let me do one of my ads real quick. Ace is gonna keep me on schedule. Okay, we're going to talk about Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. Mentioned them just a few moments ago because we were talking about how they kind of keep me plugged into the Cross Plains area. They've been in Cross Plains for over 20 years, and they are part of the foundation that brought us the Kilgore Station Bluegrass Festival, which is back on. It's going to be August. Lee Marie's got her Kilgore Station shirt on today, but it's going to be the 27th and 28th. But they're one of the sponsors of that show, and we're excited about that. But they're in the community. Again, they've been here for over 20 years, just like myself, and they are specializing in Robertson County properties. But now they're also available to buy and sell in the surrounding counties across the state line up in Kentucky. But their specialty is Robertson County, and you can see their listings at buyrobertsoncounty.com. Rebecca's one of the first in the area to be a seniors real estate specialist. If you've got somebody older that is in their golden years and you want to make sure everything's done properly, she's been specifically trying to make sure that their deals are done exactly as they should be. Barry came out of a marketing background. He is full-time in the real estate now, but he's always helped Rebecca with her marketing in. He's a Zillow certified photographer, licensed and insured drone pilot, does the 360-degree virtual reality home tours to let people walk through your home without having to walk through your home, and he will get you up on Realtor.com. They are the whole package, making sure that if you're a buyer, first and foremost, you got to get pre-qualified. If you're a seller, you got to make sure your property is priced properly. Even though it is a seller's market, you still got to have it priced within the ability for somebody to finance it. And so those are the things that they can help you with. They've been at it a long time, and it's just kind of cool that they're a good marketing and sales team. Barry and Rebecca Richards with the Exit Realty Garden Gate team. My friends, go to sellwithbecky.com, sellwithbecky.com, or buyrobertsoncounty.com to see their listings. And back to the show here. It is United Way Day. It's so funny. Bill Jones kind of popped in a while ago. It's like I had messaged him because I found out that my guest at 7 was sick and unable to come, and it was like, I don't know, 5 o'clock this morning.
Yeah.
So you don't typically want to call somebody too early. And I know Bill gets up early, but I texted him and I didn't hear from him. And he apparently got his text late, and he come popping in. I'm like, it was between 7 and 7:30 we had the opening, but we'll have Bill in again. He's just somebody everybody loves to hear. My husband goes, man, I love him.
Yeah, he's
and
great.
he
He's
just
good
loves
people.
he just loves listening to him. So
He's
so
good people.
Yeah, he's good. He's a good guy. So Bill kind of slid in, but we'll get him back on here. So where are we going next, guys?
We are going, April, it is the 8th, it's early in the month, but it is Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is a time when we take to talk about something that nobody likes to talk about. But we wanted to make sure that we brought it up because we actually have 2 of our funded partners that focus on that. So we've got the Robertson County, it's the Morris Gregory Robertson County Child Advocacy Center. They're actually our building neighbors. They are right behind us. They provide an invaluable service to children and their families, especially the children for abuse cases. This is a referral program, so they have if a school counselor or if an officer or someone realizes that a healthcare provider realizes that there may be abuse happening in the household, they make a referral to the Robertson County Child Advocacy Center so that they can have a safe space with a forensic interviewer and also therapy services that can be provided to this client so that they are only having to tell that story one time.
Yeah.
And it's and the story is obtained in a way that they ensure that the information being shared is not being pulled or guided or directed in any way.
Right.
The story is told the way that the child experienced it. But that they, again, provide an invaluable service that we don't like to talk about it. We don't want to talk about it, but we have to talk about it because abuse and neglect happen unfortunately in our environment. I will say that this time that we've been through, we know that there's been a lot of children who've been at home, been in an environment that we want to make sure that you guys know about the services that are out there and know how to refer the cases. Of course, you should, you can call DCS. There's a number that you can call. Of course, I would encourage you to Google it. Look at the ways that are appropriate for you if you feel like there has been abuse or neglect happening. But one of the reasons why we wanted to talk about them is that they are also doing a T-shirt fundraiser. It's a really cute T-shirt. Look them up, robertsoncountycac.org. But they've got it's $25 for a T-shirt. There's 2 options. Encourage you to support that if you can. You can order it. The links are on their Facebook page. Again, Robertson County CAC, our Child Advocacy Center. They were actually renamed, I think, 2 or 3 years ago for Dent Morris and Joanne Gregory, who were instrumental in building the Robertson County Child Advocacy Center. And part of that, I'm going to go down a little bit of a rabbit hole. I can't help it. So part of what's interesting about the Robertson County Child Advocacy Center is that child advocacy centers are typically done by judicial district. Right. So we fall into the 19th Judicial District with Montgomery County. We also fund the Child Advocacy Center in Cheatham County, which they're in the 23rd Judicial District. But for Robertson County, we actually have our own Child Advocacy Center that only serves Robertson County. That was through some pretty heavy advocacy on the part of some of those initial leaders to maintain that, because Montgomery is a huge county. You don't want to have that resource pulled so far away. Plus that, our judicial district is pretty land-wise, pretty far. So that resource is available right here with highly trained professionals who know what they're doing and know how to provide and conduct that safe space interview for children who have unfortunately potentially experienced something that could be life-changing for the rest of their life and for their families too.
And go ahead.
No, it's just, again, wonderful program. Doesn't get talked about enough. They need support. And then the way we can do that is if we can't support it if we don't know about it. So I encourage you to go check them out. Robertson County. It's the Morris Gregory Robertson County Child Advocacy Center. If you just Google Robertson County Child Advocacy Center, it should come right up. But go on their Facebook page, look at the T-shirt fundraiser, buy a T-shirt, or just say, hey, I'm going to donate $25. I don't need another T-shirt. So great program. So
outstanding. And you just can't say enough about programs that are geared to help our kids, because this is something, I'm 58 years old. The amount of people who I know in my generation and older that experienced abuse that went untold is freaky. I mean, it is astounding how prevalent it is, and now we shine a light on it.
Yeah.
And it is just, I'm just stunned. I'm stunned at the people that were exposed to it and the people that are continuing to be exposed to it. But now we have a better way to stop it because people are paying more attention. So I just can't say enough about what we have going on. What did Lee Marie?
Okay.
I
have one more partner that I needed to talk about. It's CASA of Robertson County. So I wanted to talk about the Child Advocacy Center, but end with CASA. CASA is a court-appointed special advocate. We do have a CASA program here in Robertson County. They are one of our funded partners. Now, their service, while it is for child abuse and neglect cases, they provide a much different service. So in the state of Tennessee, it's a reconnect state. So they're ensuring that the child is going back into the safest and best environment for that child. So the CASA's responsibility, now they go through intense training every single year to ensure, one, that they understand the flow, that they understand how to talk to children, understand what it's like to go into a home environment and do that assessment. Of course, we've had to shift quite a bit the way that things have been provided through COVID, but they're still continuing to serve. A CASA gets assigned once the case is in court. So Judge Stark, Magistrate Stark, she's assigning, she said, this case needs a CASA. And the CASA, again, is paired. They're to be the eyes, the ears, the hands, the feet. They know when the last doctor's appointment was. They know last time they skinned their knee. They know the last time they went to the dentist, what their, if they did their homework, how many days they've been in school. It is very detailed, and it takes a very special person to be a CASA advocate, a volunteer advocate. And I said the word volunteer. They do not get paid to do this. This is out of the goodness of their heart. We have some long-term volunteers that have worked with CASA that are incredibly passionate and incredibly good at what they do. We can feel very confident that if there's a case that has a CASA on it, a CASA advocate, that child is going into the appropriate setting, and they pour their eyes ears, hands, heart, all their whole soul into what they're doing. And anyway, just a great program. I bring them up primarily because, again, it is Child Abuse Prevention Month, Awareness and Prevention Month. And CASA does the pinwheel planting ceremony. It's for every child who has been affected over the last year by child abuse and neglect. So the pinwheels represent a case. So we, last year, we did the pinwheel planting ceremony, and it was in the shape of the number of how many. And again, we'll do that again this year.
You know when that's happening?
Yes, that's what I was just about to bring
Okay.
up. So it's actually on Friday, April the 16th at 9 a.m. It
That's
will
next
be,
week.
it's always right on the courthouse lawn. So if you know where the DA's office is, on the corner of 5th and Main, and then that side of the courthouse, it will be right there. Encourage you to participate. Come safely, but please do come and be a part of that. It's an eye-opening opportunity to realize that there are that many cases. Again, we don't like to think about it. We don't like to recognize it, but we have to open our eyes, because that's part of how we can help prevent it in the future.
bet.
So again, CASA of Robertson County is doing their pinwheel planting. That's on Friday, April the 16th at 9 a.m. right there on the courthouse lawn. It's 501 North Main Street, but it's at the corner of 5th and Main. Can't miss us. Will be a crowd out there. So.
And again, that was my point about talking about the stuff that happened in older generations. We just didn't talk about it. You just, you know, it's just like just pushed it into the corners, and it's like, well, if we don't see it, it's not happening. Well, no, it's happening, and you've got to just shine a light on it. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, it was like wildfire, and it went up. Unfortunately,
There was a stigma with
Yeah.
kids when
Stigma.
something would happen, and
Yeah.
they like something was wrong with them.
Right.
That happened to them.
Right.
You know, we're talking about our generation.
Right,
And I
right.
can remember firsthand cases and with our family friends, and it was like that shouldn't be the case.
No.
Like, it wasn't the kids' fault, but that's the way we treated it. Like
Yeah.
something was wrong with them, and,
Yeah.
and I think that there's been a drastic shift.
And
Thankfully.
we are blessed here in this county. As I've learned more about these programs, oh
Yeah.
my goodness, I'm so thankful that we have this, because these precious kids, man, you know, well,
Exactly.
incredible.
Well, and again, you can't support it and can't know, without having that awareness that the program's there. So that's part of what we're hopeful to continue to do is continue to talk about these programs, because we tend to get our focus shifted from day to day, from week to week, and so ensuring that we're continuing to talk about it. But what Lee Marie had brought up is that there's a hand signal that kids can do to let folks know if they're in a situation.
Oh,
and
really?
I think she's going to demonstrate that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I didn't even know that. See, she knows.
And how do
she cracks me-
they educate the children on how to do this? Is it
Well,
that-
that's the thing, and we learned about this on Saturday, about this hand signal, and it's actually for domestic abuse, so it can be used for adults.
Get right up
too.
on that microphone. And she's talking about, she was with Aaron Spradling on Saturday.
Right.
And he came out and spoke. He deals with human trafficking and
Yeah.
things. And so there was a hand signal that
Right,
they
and now
made.
with all the Zoom calls and stuff, like if somebody is on a Zoom call with somebody and like say they have an abusive husband that's behind them and they can't see them, they can.
Get right on there.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, they can go into the camera, and if they have their hand up towards the camera, they put their thumb across and their other fingers down over that thumb, and that is the signal that I need help. So
Really?
a child can do it, or an adult, anybody that needs to tell somebody, or if you're walking along in Walmart or something, you see a kid do that, excuse me, then you know that they are, maybe being trafficked or something like that. So what they say to do, obviously you don't want to go after that person. You want to go out and call 911 and tell them that you just saw that hand signal. But our club on Saturday was talking about trying to get that up on a billboard, because that's the thing.
Yeah,
we need to get the
education.
word out to the kids that they have that option.
Yeah.
So again, it's just you put your thumb across and you put your other four fingers over it. I can't do it all the way, but
Yeah.
that's the signal.
Okay, and I need to stop and do a break real quick before we completely run out of time, and we're going to probably go a couple minutes over here because, anything you need to wrap up, be sure and do that here as we come out of the ad for Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts, Nursery and Gardening Store. Can't say enough about Amy Corbin. Love her. She's plugged into everything. It seems like if there's a farmer's market, anything, they're there with the community. They have their beautiful hanging baskets, all kinds of beautiful things from their greenhouse. Follow them on Facebook, because they put up the most beautiful pictures. They had something up yesterday talking about just come out and take a greenhouse break. Come out and just kind of breathe in the life of our greenhouse. And you're welcome to do that. You don't have to buy anything. Just come out and visit with them. And while you're out there too, talk to them about the CBD, because it has been a game changer for me. I can't say enough about it. And it is Robertson County CBD. If you're interested in seeing if CBD will work for you, the biggest thing I can recommend is to know where you're sourcing it from, to make sure you're getting what they say you're getting. And you can do that at Corbin Creek because Bill grows the plants. That's what's processed into the oil they sell right there. The topical that they sell, the little topical ointment, Miss Jane and Amy make that there in the house. And it's good stuff. I can't say enough about it. It helped me a lot this week as I was not feeling great from a COVID shot. I took a little extra CBD oil, and I think it got me over the edge. But they are just a great business, one of our favorites here at Corbin Creek Greenhouse Gifts Nursery and Gardening Store. They're open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5. Sunday, they're open from 1 to 5. Get by there and see them today. The phone number is 615-384-3185. 4920 Highway 161 is where they're located. And again, they'll be part of all the farmers markets. But get by there and tell them U-Turn sent you. Okay, guys, what have we got to talk about before we wrap it up?
Yeah, so really quickly, just wanted to do another reminder about the pinwheel planting for Casa of Robertson County. That's open to anyone. It is outdoors Friday, April the 16th, 9 a.m. Come down and be a part of that. Learn a little bit more. Again, it's not something we want to really talk about or harp on, but we have to make ourselves aware. Robertson County, the Morris Gregory Robertson County Child Advocacy Center is doing their T-shirt fundraiser. It's $25 for a T-shirt, or maybe you just make a donation. It's up to you guys. But do look them up. They have the links posted in their on their Facebook page. Excuse me. Also on Friday, April 16th is Laundry Love. That's our regular Laundry Love day. We put our first loads in at 8 a.m., last loads in at 11. They're at Sisters Coin Laundry. That's in the Belk Big Lots Plaza. Encourage you to, if you would like to find us on Facebook, please do. Laundry Love Springfield, Tennessee. If you look us up on Facebook, you may find other Laundry Loves, so make sure you have the right one. But do reach out if you're interested in volunteering or providing us with any kind of supplies, laundry supplies. We're always in need of detergent, gloves. those are the things that for our volunteers, those are the things that we don't always think about. But detergent we go through that quite heavily. Not so much as dryer sheets, but again, Laundry Love happening Friday, April the 16th, same day as that pinwheel planting. They're at the Belk Big Lots Plaza.
Did you give a time on the pinwheel planting?
9 a.m. Yeah,
9
it's
a.m.
Friday, April
Okay.
the 16th at 9 a.m. right there on the courthouse steps. Again, it's it's 501 North Main, so that you get the right side of the correct side of the courthouse. Excuse me. But it's there at the corner of 5th and Main.
It's going to be interesting to see the numbers for this past year versus the prior year, because I think it went up. We know it did, and that's just the tragedy of it all. So,
Yes.
But anyway, anything else, you guys? Brian, any parting words? So
Thankful to be here.
awesome, very
Yes.
good. Thank you guys so much. Thank you, Lee Marie, for helping us out this morning. And this is 1100 WSGI, a little thing we call One Street Over. We'll be back with you tomorrow, as always, bringing you the Face Friday segment of our week. So we hope that you'll be a part of that. And again, this is 1100 WSGI.